الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله وما توفيقي ولا اعتصامي إلا بالله. عليه توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المؤمنون. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولا نذير له ولا مثال له. وأشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده وحبيبه ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، فيا عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي الخاطئة بتقوى الله وطاعته. إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. قال ربنا سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: خذ العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين. صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله الهاشمي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. I praise Allah as He deserves to be praised, and I ask Him to send His peace and His blessings upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, His family members, His companions, and all of those who followed His way of life. And I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu salam is the messenger of God and His servant as well. Dear brothers and sisters, we live in times where people are confused when it comes to genders. In other words, there are those, especially the young ones nowadays, and definitely the elders as well. Some of the elders, alhamdulillah, not as much in the Muslim community, but overall, especially in the Western world and here in the country where we live in America, where people are confused because of some of the theories that are out there. You do not know exactly what you are until you decide for yourself what you are. This would be a theory. You don't know whether you are a male or a female unless you decide yourself your gender, what you want to be. And not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you to be, but what you want to be. And of course, ideas like these are 100% rejected from our faith. And Muslims all over the world, they need to stand for their own values without denigrating, without putting down the rights of other people, especially in a multicultural, multi-pluralistic society where we live in. We have no right to abuse the others. We have no right to offend the others based on what they believe and based on the way how they see themselves and based on the way how they want their lives to be. However, it is our obligation as Muslims to teach ourselves and to teach our youngsters the way how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Creator, has laid down the foundation or foundations on living a healthy life, a good life, a life that would be better for us, easier for us, and also acceptable in the eyes of our Creator. Since He is our Creator, He has laid down some rules in order for our lives to be compatible with what is good. That's why even in the Quran, He mentions to enjoy that which is good. Al-amru bil-ma'ruf. Enjoy that what is good. Or command that which is good. Tell the others that which is good. So get busy with that and do not be lazy in promoting that which is good. And also, وَالنَّهِيَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and stop if you can. Do whatever you can within your limits to stop that which is bad. And Muslims, as long as they hold to these principles, they live by these principles, they will be on the safe side. Living 100 years ago, if one of us would have lived 100 years ago or more than that, based on what we hear from our elders and what we read in our books, we see that people, they didn't need to read about what it means to be a woman. They didn't need to read books on what it means to be a man. But we live in very troubled times, as I said, where Shaitan is doing his job. Shaitan is whispering in the ears and the minds of people. And the nafs of the individual, the ego of the individual is unleashed. The haya, the concept of haya, the concept of shyness, the concept of humbleness, all of these ethical values are being lost on a daily basis. And what's being promoted is anything that goes against these values. And often religious people are not involved in teaching their communities and spreading the word even beyond their communities, beyond the walls of their places of congregation or houses of worship, and reaching out to other individuals as well in regards to promoting these values. I remind myself and every one of us that what destroys a nation, it is not the chemical weapons, it is not the military power, it is not any political decision, but it is the adab wal akhlaq, the manners, the ethics that nation possesses. And if these manners or ethics are gone from a nation, then that nation is ruined. If the ethics and morals are gone, are absent from that nation is ruined. You don't need to throw an atomic bomb or to invade that country. When you have no manners, no ethics, they're all gone. Those values are all gone, that nation is also ruined, as I said. Therefore, these are very important principles to keep in mind, especially when it comes to what is my nature as a man. And again, these are not my own words as an Imam, or not my words, or not the words of my teachers who told us this is what it means to be a man, but we are deriving some of the teachings that I'm about to mention today in this khutbah, inshallah, from the Quran, from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that teaches us how to be man. And also from the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and from the ashab. And the ashab are the best nation or the best generation out of Muslims, and also the tabi'een. What did they mention? How did they behave? These behaviors or these characteristics that they possessed, they can be applicable at any time, at any place. In other words, I'm not choosing for you to mention something that is irrelevant to the time and the place where we live in. And somebody may say, why are you picking this topic, what it means to be a man? Well, last Friday we talked about women in Islam too, and the characteristics of women in the eyes of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And as a matter of fact, I strongly believe that as religious leaders, as fathers, as husbands, as mothers, as sisters and daughters, we have to be equipped. We live in a time where we cannot, unfortunately, learn from the society and learn from people around us what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman. We have to start opening the books, and spiritual leaders, They have to speak about these topics, and not only during the khutbah time, but also in some other community gatherings too. These things, they have to be mentioned often and often in order for us to develop these qualities. Again, not our own desired qualities of what we think a man to be or what a woman to be, but the qualities that are strongly rooted in our teachings. And again, these lessons will be valid, will work only for those individuals who believe in the Quran and the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and who value these ashab al-Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Otherwise, people who do not value this, people who may have a different faith, or people who do not have faith at all, they're not necessarily going to uphold these values that I'm talking about, and I have no problem with that. But again, what I am talking about, what I'm emphasizing is the emphasis on our own values, and we need to know what those values are. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ. We repeat this verse often, that in the life of a Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, you have the best role model, the best example. So we are deriving these qualities or these values from his personality and the Sahabas, who he said that they are like stars. Whoever you grab hold to, you will find that guidance. So we start first and foremost by mentioning that out there in society, there are, as I said earlier, different theories. And among these other theories, you have that you have to be very strong in order for you to be looked or to be viewed as a real man. Well, you have also other individuals who look at the beauty of having, let's say, for example, certain, a beard, for example, or mustache sometimes, or the way how you hold your hair, or the way how you dress, whether you put a jacket on, or a bow, or a tie, or whatever. They start limiting the al-muru'a, as they call it in Arabic, the manhood, with the outside aspect. So they connect it with the outside, with the appearance, how they look. And that is definitely not, it is for sure, it has to do with being a man or being a woman for that matter, but it is not the essential part of it. It is not, or let's say the most essential part of being a man, or what it means to be, manhood pretty much. Others, they think that to be a man, or essential part of a man, is to hang around with strong people. And again, that is not the case either. Others, they think that as long as I have fame, I'm famous, that's what it means to be a man. And also that is not essential either. Others, they think that as long as I have a business, as long as I have $100,000 in my account, and I can support my wife and my children, and I can behave as a rich person out there and have a black car, driving a black car with tinted windows and all of that, dress in a certain way again, intersecting between these different things of money, power, fame, and all that, all of a sudden now I'm a man, and people are going to view me as a man. This is not also essential either. What is essential? Well, let's start first with a definition in the Quran between a man and between male. Not every male is automatically a man. In Arabic, there are two terms, al-dhakar wal-rajul. Al-dhakar is somebody who's a male, and rajul is a man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ ذُكُورًا. So He gives, or He, gives birth to whosoever He wants to be a female, and in the same way to be a male as well. So it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who decides. In other words, it's not even your decision to whether to be a male or to be a female to begin with. So there is no efforts in that. And you have so many males who do have even white beard, and they dress in a certain way, but in reality, deep inside them, they're children. They're not necessarily man. They're children. And women as well, in the same matter. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for example, رِجَالٌ لَا تُلْهِيهِمْ تِجَارَةٌ وَلَا بَيْعٌ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. When he starts talking about rijal, the plural of rajul, which is man in plural, the tijara, business, does not divert them from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here he is giving us the qualities of those who are defined as man, not simply as dhukura or dhakar, but as rijal. And for that matter, scholars, they even include female gender, include women as well, who are very righteous to be a part of rijal as well. Meaning the humankind who reaches that level of righteousness, whether males or females. So, let's start first with the story of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He was not a man of muscles. He was not a tall man. He was not a very, very strong man. He was actually less, when it comes to his height, he had less than an average height. He had very thin shins. And one time he was picking some 2 sticks from a tree, from the arak tree. And miswak, in order for others to use or sell or whatever he was doing. So all of a sudden there was a wind. And then the wind was so strong that he fell from the tree. And people around him, they started laughing at him. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is somebody who narrated so many hadiths. He was among the companions of Rasulullah ﷺ who was considered to be a scholar. Very heavyweight. مِمَّا تَضْحَكُونَ. And Nabi ﷺ said, what are you laughing for? He approached the Sahabas and he said, what are you laughing for? And the Sahabas, they said, Ya Rasulullah, we're laughing at his tiny shins. Like, he has no strength in order to uphold himself very tight on the tree there. And then upon hearing this, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ لَهُمَا أَثْقَلُ فِي الْمِيزَانِ مِنْ أُحُدٍ. Wallahi, he said, and Nabi alayhi salatu salam said, by the one who created, or by the one whose soul is in his hands, those 2 shins that he has are heavier on the scale of God than the mountain of Uhud. Those 2 shins that he has, that he possesses. So again, the Nabi ﷺ here is giving us an indication that manhood, it is not on how strong you are, how physically strong you are, and how much muscles you have in your body, but it is what you possess. And to begin with, a part or a good character of being a man is to have knowledge. It starts with knowledge right there. When we reflect upon the creation of the first human being, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, who was a man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. So the first blessing that He bestowed upon Adam is knowledge. And the first thing that we need to have as man, but also as women as well, it is what? It is knowledge. This is what makes us distinct, or this is what gives us that honor, by having knowledge, by being knowledgeable people. And not people who are only knowledgeable about their own field and they have no clue of what's happening around them. People, they take pride in doing what they do. Let's say somebody is an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor or a business owner or whatever the case may be. Now all of a sudden that person has reached success, and he or she may think that, I got it all. A master of all. A master of all. And in reality, they have no knowledge about the other things, but they just pretend that they know. And they act like that they know. So again, we have to put our head down and we have to learn actually. And go beyond our bubble. Because the world is wider than just your own profession. It is more than that. Become knowledgeable. Start learning about other things as well. And not just here and there, but learn, have real knowledge about things that are around you. What about the definitions of manhood? The ta'rif of manhood, al-muru'ah, as it goes in Arabic. First, we have to show forgiveness. A real man is somebody who shows forgiveness, is able to forgive people. Number two, enjoin good. Number three, turn away from the ignorant people. What does it mean to show forgiveness? You do not harbor hate against somebody and keep hating that person, but you forgive that person. This is a part of being man. Enjoin good. You are looking forward for any deed that is positive, that is going to benefit you and the others as well. Not how can you harm the others so you can benefit, but how can you benefit and the others benefit as well. That is al-amru bil ma'roof right there. And turn away from the ignorant. What does that mean? Don't get engaged in conversations that are going to belittle you. You have knowledge, so stay away from the ignorant. Don't be surprised that sometimes the stone can even break a piece of diamond. But the diamond will remain always a diamond, and the stone will always remain a stone. You don't have to compare yourself all the time with people who just talk, and they have a very loud voice. Even if it looks to him or to her that you're just losing, let it be. Just stay away. That is the best answer sometimes. It's not me saying this. It is the Quran. وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. This is the first ta'rif. This is the first definition of what it means to be a man in Islam. Ibn Marzuban is one of the scholars of Islam who wrote actually a book, and inshallah I intend in the future to teach this book as well. It's called Al-Muru'ah, Manhood. What is manhood in Islam? Beautiful book, close to 200 pages. All narrations from either hadith or sahabas or tabi'een. Beautiful book. And I'm going to quote to you today some of these quotations from his book. Sufyan bin Uyayna, rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the tabi'een, he said, all things are derived from the Quran. So it was said to Sufyan bin Uyayna, it was mentioned, all things are derived from the Quran. So where is the manhood in it? Like when we want to understand about something, okay, we derive from the Quran. Something else, we derive from the Quran. Is our primary source, is first primary source. And he answered to him, here is the ayah where you can derive the manhood from. خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Again, be forgiven. Be quick in forgiving. And enjoin the good. And also stay away from the ignorant people. Here it is. This is the ayah that defines or where you can derive the manhood from the Quran. Al-Madaini also reported in the Al-Muru'ah, in the book that I just mentioned earlier, it was said to Ahnaf bin Qais, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show mercy upon him, what is manhood? Al-Ahnaf said, Al-Hilmu عند الغضب والعفو عند القدرة. It is forbearance at a time of anger, being patient during the time of anger, and not reacting based on the anger that you have, but holding yourself, hold ground during the time of ghadab, during the time of anger, and also forgiveness at a time of power. You have the ability, to afflict, or to revenge upon someone, but then what do? You hold that power. You don't express that. You forgive. Ibn Marzuban also reported that Sayyidina Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu passed by some people who were talking. And Sayyidina Ali karramallahu wajha, he said to them, what are you doing? And they said, we are talking about manhood. And Sayyidina Ali, he said, أَوَمَا كَفَاكُمُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ ذَاكَ فِي كِتَابَهِ إِذَا يَقُولُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ فالعدل الإنصاف والإحسان التفضل فما بقي بعد هذا. Has not Allah Almighty sufficed you in His book where He said that verily Allah commands for justice? So in other words, if you want to talk about the definition of manhood, here is another definition. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands for justice. First, be a just individual. Be a just man. And also excellence of character. Possess an excellent character. Justice, he said, when it comes to the first part that talks about justice, is to have a sense of fairness. And excellence is to prefer others to yourself. Al-ihsan, he said, is to prefer others to yourself. It is the opposite of ego. It is the opposite of me, everything around me. In other words, sensibility, right? What remains of manhood after this? It's like, this is it. All you need to know about manhood, here it is, when it comes to the definition. What are some other traits? So we talked about definition. What are some of the traits of manhood? Imam al-Mawardi, rahimahullah ta'ala, reported that Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, أصل الرجل عقله وحسبه دينه ومروءته خلقه. The foundation of a man is the intellect. So the asl is the foundation. The foundation of a man is the intellect. How intellectual you are. We see out there people having no intellect and feeling proud again of driving a certain car or going into clubs and drinking at night, and caring less about what happens in a family and people around them. And they consider that this is the manhood. The base of manhood, he says, is the intellect. This Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. وَحَسَبُهُ دِينُهُ. And his honor is his religion. How religiously he or she is. In this particular case, we're talking about man. How religious he is. And also the al-muru'ah, the manhood, is in his character. What kind of a character he or she has. Please come forward, fill up empty space. There are people standing. Please, brothers, fill up the empty space in front of you. And inshallah, in the future, we will continue talk about this topic because it's very important. Ahmed bin Jamil also reported that Muhammad bin al-Nadr, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon him, he said, and this is from Al-Mujalasa wa Jawahir al-Ilm, a beautiful book. So again it says, أول المروءة طلاقة الوجه والثاني التودد إلى الناس والثالث قضاء الحوائج. The first part of manhood, he says, the first part of manhood is a cheerful face. A cheerful face. In other words, not somebody who has a very mean face. That's not manhood. A cheerful face. The second part is loving kindness to people. In other words, you do not love those who are harsh, or those who are evil, or those who beat the others, or those who treat the others horribly. No. You love those that are, again, kind people. You're attracted, you're connected to those who are kind individuals. That is the second part, or the second character of manhood. And then the third part, he says, of manhood is fulfilling the needs of the others. Again, less egoistic individual, more about the others than yourself. Abdullah ibn Mubarak, radiyallahu ta'ala, rahimahullah ta'ala, from the Tabi'een, from a very famous scholar from the Tabi'een and the Imam, he reported that Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu said, لا يعجبنكم من الرجل طنطنته ولكنه من أدى الأمانة وكف عن أعراض الناس فهو الرجل. Do not let yourselves be impressed by a roar of a man. Who roars? Lions, right? Lions, they roar. So it is an allegorical expression right here, that sometimes man too, they raise their voice and they deepen their voice, and they show that, they tend to show that they are man. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu says, do not let yourself be impressed by the roar of a man. Rather, if he fulfills the trust and restrains himself from harming the honor of the people, then he will truly be a man. Again, if he fulfills the trust, something is entrusted on that person and he fulfills that trust. He does not fall short on that. And the second thing is, he restrains himself from harming the honor of the people. Does not talk about people, but protects the honor of the individuals out there. That person is a true man. And the last thing that I want to mention right here is the hadith, which is a sahih hadith from Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that is found in the Sunan of Imam at-Tirmidhi, or the Jami' of Imam at-Tirmidhi. النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يقول ليس المؤمن بالطعان, and this is a very famous hadith. ليس المؤمن بالطعان ولا اللعان ولا الفاحش ولا البذيء. The believer does not taunt others. Again, the believer does not taunt others. He does not curse others. In other words, you don't hear from that person cursing other individuals. That's not a part of manhood. And he does not use profanity. And he does not abuse the others either. So all of these would be characteristics that are against actually of what it means to be a man. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the best that we can, man and women as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with us, and may we all be pleased with him as well. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله حمد الكاملين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، تعظيما لنبيه وتكريما لفخامة شأن شاف صفيه. فقال عز وجل من قائل مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وارض اللهم عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن أهل بيته وعن أصحابه الكرام والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا قاضي الحاجات يا مجيب الدعوات. استجب دعاءنا برحمتك يا أكرم الأكرمين ويا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم طهر قلوبنا واستر عيوبنا واشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا وانصرنا على أعدائنا وانصرنا على أنفسنا يا خير الناصرين. وتقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. عباد الله، يقول تعالى: إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.